What's up, guys? This is a Monday Mayhem. Where's everybody at? I'm all by my lonesome. Testing, testing. Is this on? Testing, testing. Is this on? Testing, testing. Is this on? I'm glad that everybody's mics are working so we can all go and do this as a unit. Everybody's actually here. They are just in ghost form, of course. Yeah. So this is gonna be very top 5 Thursday-ish. I had a feeling this day would come. You know, I knew it. I knew it. And this is not to say that people weren't here. Tyler could not come because he didn't want to sit through all of the Toy Story movies because his back is not completely healed yet. A little bit of longer episodes. And we didn't end up doing Toy Story this week. Spoiler alert. Yeah, you'll find out more about that on Friday with the movie we do review, which is The Protector for all you Tony Jaa fans. Then we have Josh. Josh was also not able to make it this week. We have Jordan, I should say. Jordan. My brother has a hard on in his name. Yeah, make sure we describe that as name. Jordan is my brother. Jordan is Jordan Rogers. He came back on again. He was on a few weeks ago talking about porn and Pokemon, what have you. Great. You know, oh yeah, that's right, he's here. Yeah. He was here. He did some episodes, if you're not hip to that. And then Rodney was also here. But Jordan, not on. He does not have a hard on. Well, in his pornos he does, I guess. And Rodney both had to skedeep out to their vehicles and bounce. And I told him, you know what, I'll take this on, you know. I will be that guy that does Monday Mayhem by myself, or movie review by myself, or news by myself. I knew it because it takes place in my house. I knew at some point this would happen. And it took 80-something episodes. But here we are, man. Not 88-something episodes of Monday Mayhem. We're only like 30-something in. I don't even remember what episode this is, guys. I'm sorry that this is such a failure. But no, stay tuned, because I'll tell you why you need to stay tuned, because I have literally nothing planned. So maybe you shouldn't stay tuned. But, you know, maybe I'll pull something out of a hat. Sometimes that's when we work our best. But yeah, guys, Monday Mayhem. What happened this week, guys? What happened to me? Oh, okay. This week, would you guess it? Nothing really happened other than work fucking me. Let's cut into that a little bit. What is going on with work right now, man? I thought I was really getting fucked, but then the more I looked around and the more I've just kind of added up in my head, I think everybody's getting fucked. People just aren't working right now, man. They're not willing to. They're not trying to. Some instances, I understand. I mean, you know, disability, of course. And honestly, like I get anxiety. I get it. Like I get it, but I also get it. You know what I mean? I can understand if you're that literally, like, you're that fucked up in the head about COVID and you're like, oh my God, I'm freaking the fuck out. There's levels of that shit that people don't, you know, people think that we are so, you know, one-dimensional when we're not. I don't necessarily think they think we're one-dimensional, but that's kind of the way we subconsciously think. Like, if I think this way, then this person's going to think this way. That's why we get so bent out of shape about opinions, right? But in a nutshell, there's people that freak the fuck out over shit, and they don't. Oh yeah, like, you know, like the person will be like, well, I freak the fuck out over shit too. I don't want to go to work. But guess what? You know, I go to work. You know, that guy. But it's different for some people, man. You might freak out about it, like, oh yeah, I don't like COVID. I gotta work. This person might be like in a box. You know, he's like Bubble Boy, and they're like, I don't like COVID. I don't know if my bubble will support me. You know, there is that person. And even though you might be like, that's pathetic, they are feeling those feelings. You know what I mean? That's legit. I can see a little bit of that. But there's definitely some people, and honestly, I was one of them in the beginning, but I had good reason that just were like, I'm trying to clear out. I'm not trying to deal with this right now. But when I did it, it was early on We didn't know what this was. My boss was like, we're going to have to send some of y'all home for a while, or at least till we figure out what we're doing. Nobody knew what they were doing when this fucking thing first started. And I was like, hey, I got a wife and kid at home. I care about their safety. I care about my safety. I'll go home. But eventually, I came back, right? But these people that are just mooching, dude, it does. I get it. I get the other side too. It hurts. It fucking hurts. Because if you're working right now, I think it's everywhere. As I was saying, I've came to understand that. I think it's just because so many people aren't working, us, the people that are working, are having to do double the work, man. We're having to do triple the work sometimes. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, I feel like I am being stretched so fucking thin, dude. I'm being stretched so thin. I'm like a motherfucking regular size condom on a big black cock. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm being stretched so thin, dude. You know what I mean? I need them magnums, but right now I'm working with them. What are small condoms called? Yeah, that. It's tough. I know at least some of y'all can relate to me, but we're gonna get through this, guys, or are we? That's always in the back of our fucking head. Yeah, it's a tough go, dude, with everything going on right now. And I wish I had more, like, funny stories to tell, but, like, I feel like that's all that's going on. All the funny shit is getting filtered out by the, like, good Lord, work is a burden right now. And you know what? Even though I have this podcast and that's work to me, I consider it as work, I don't know, like, the weekend still, I at least get Saturday and Sunday. And again, this is so fun still to this day, even though it's work. That's what I consider it as. Fridays are still fun, but Saturdays and Sundays when I have no priorities, whoo, I'm really escaping through there. I feel for you motherfuckers that are working like 6 days a week and shit, which I'm sure some bosses are forcing on y'all at this point. I've done that shit too on the regular, like pre-COVID, before this shit popped off. But this shit is like really like clouded. I feel like even like my funny stories during the week, because I just forget about them. I really do. Because I'll have them in the moment. I'm like, oh, this is great. But then an avalanche of shit will fall on me. And I lose it. I lose it. Because there's so much negative right now, right? So much. But the thing is, you can't let it get to you, can you? No, you can't. Sure, you can voice it and sound like a bitch right now where I'm kind of talking about it. But, I'm just creating conversation. And I'm just being honest with y'all. That's all I can do is be honest with y'all. These are what my weeks are right now. But guess what? Can't be weak about it on your end. You got to just keep pushing through, man. Got to keep pushing. That's all you can do. I'm right now racking my brain of like what funny shit happened this week. I'm sure it happened, but yet here I am like work sucked. Like, that's all that is there, dude. I'll tell you this much, man. Something's been going on with me. We're about to, the fam, including not just my immediate family with my wife and daughter, we're about to hit, we're about to hit that vacation time up, and we about to, probably do some lake showing, and I ain't talking Lakers, We're about to show off some bods, or at least I thought I was, and I am not ready for that, I have the muscles, but the stomach and the chest, maybe it's the work, dude. I feel like I've been slacking lately, and I'm trying to be, looking pristine for that. I'm trying to be on that Jersey Shore shit, but I'm over here just, drinking beers and acting a fool. It's like musical beers over here. You ever do that shit where you just get like disappointed in yourself? Where like you want more than anything, and literally you feel like you mean this to like, I'm trying to have the perfect body, and then you don't do it. Maybe that's to a more extreme degree for other people. I actually really do work my ass off to like stay in shape and do the things. Cause whatever I'm committed to, I go to 100. I don't know if y'all are with me on this. I am fucking all the way fucking in. But the one thing that kind of fucks that whole, like, are you lying right now, is the diet, dude. How hard is dieting? Seriously, I get it for like 1 or 2 weeks, but my God, good Lord, it is tough sometimes. And I think it's all the shit I take on. And I'm not trying to say pity me with this part or even the work part that I said before. But when you're doing so much and, you know, you're looking for that escape, you know, sometimes that's I'll have a few beers. Or on Fridays, I'll have more than a few beers because, you know, I like to turn up while I'm doing these podcasts. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, probably. But you really... I don't know. You look for those little exits, I guess. Like you really feel that, or you're like, God damn it, it has been a rough day, and I'll be damned if I'm not gonna eat these tacos that my wife surprisingly has left over. You know what I mean? You need some type of exit somewhere, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I want to tell people that are going through the struggle that I go through and everything, you've got to be able to understand that, like, you're not going to be perfect. And that's with anything in life, man. You've got to push through anything and everything. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be perfect. And that's not the problem, man. You got to understand that it's that way. That's just who it is. We are, as human beings, not perfect. But you got to understand that you're willing to come back. And you're willing to do the right thing the next day. Like, if you fuck up a couple days, okay, fine. But best believe that third day, don't make it a fucking trend. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing I can preach on this shit, this podcast, this Monday Mayhem, is you've got to get your affairs in order. But at the same time, don't flood yourself. Don't make it to where you can't even fucking think straight because you're making yourself go crazy. I do that all the time. But you guess what? Like I said, if I come home and there's some tacos, I guess maybe that is my escape. But damn it, I've got to get this beach body going, guys. I got a month. I don't know if it's going to happen. I really doubt it. Because I think I'm one of those people, you know, I think a lot of people like to play the victim where they're like, oh, man, I just feel like I can't get it done. And you look at it, you're like, dude, you don't work out. You don't exercise, whether it be running, any fucking thing, sit-ups, fucking crunches, whatever you're fucking doing. CrossFit. you don't do none of it. You eat like a pig. You have seconds every time, and you're just like, why is this happening to me? That's a little different. But I get it if you're from the standpoint of like, man, I know I don't do everything perfect, but god dang, I do that 90% so damn well. And that don't just go with exercise, anything in life. It can be stressful how you're looking at everything, and you're like, damn, dude, that 10% really makes a difference. And I tell you what, more than ever, good Lord does it. And you learn that. And the problem is we learn that sometimes as human beings, and we're like, I'm still not going to fix it. We're not. We don't tell that to ourselves. We make up little excuses. Don't you love how we make up excuses? We'll sit there in our minds like, yeah, you know what? I deserve this. And the back brain's like, no, you don't. Good Lord. Get out of there while you can. It's like the devil and angel on your shoulder. The other one's like, yes, you do. And you listen to that because you're going so hard on the other things that you're like, no, damn well, I need some devil in my life. I'm not perfect. And we're not, man. Again, that's the overall arcing point of this, point of Monday Mayhem. We gotta learn to accept ourselves. You know, we do our fucking best, and we gotta fucking be happy. But at the same time, we can't be content. Realize we're gonna fuck up, but also be content, not fully, but in knowing that you're trying. And that's all I can ask, not of me and myself, what I go into, but also all you can ask of you, man. That's all we fucking need in this life, is just know you're trying. I think that is the biggest thing I can preach to people, is like, don't worry about what other people say. Don't even worry about what you say sometimes. Again, that the devil part of your brain that digs in and digs in and digs in. If you know deep down inside of you, like, hey, I'm trying. Like, maybe I'm not perfect here because I'm imperfect as a human being, but I'm doing a whole lot of different shit. I'm doing everything I can. Now, that doesn't mean, like, I go to work every day. I think I'm a pretty good family man, but also I do meth. I'm not saying that. Don't do meth, people. But you know what I mean, like the basics in life. Like, Like, don't beat yourself up, man. Especially fucking right now. Again, ugh. It's a tough world right now, but we're pursuing, man. We're getting through it. And I love that about me, and I love that about us. Love yourself. You know what I mean? Anyways. Yeah. Randomness. I just bought a hookah again. Yes, a hookah. Y'all know what hookah is? I gotta tell you, I forgot the weird circumstances that revolve around hookah. And if you don't know what I mean, I will tell you exactly what I mean right now. My boss, as he was walking by me the other day, now this motherfucker, he can't hear, man. He's got hearing aids in. But I was talking about hookah. Was it yesterday? No, I think it's today. Yeah, it's today. See, this is how fucked up my brain is. It's all over the place right now because work is just it's rah right now. Everybody's at each other's throats, it seems like. But I was talking about getting my hookah the other day, and he kind of glanced over at me, just like, he was looking at me like, this guy's talking about hookah. That's got to be a word for weed. I'm not hip with that. If he ever even smoked weed, was hip with weed to begin with. But he's looking at me like the way I'm talking about, I'm probably mentioning like it's a big bong, like stuff like that. He's all over, like he's kind of giving me that side eye, like, bro. Well, he probably didn't say bro. I can't imagine my boss saying bro, but he's looking at me like, bro, are you talking about smoking weed in my office? Like, no, dude, I'm talking about smoking hookah, completely different. Tobacco. It ain't even that wacky tobacco. It's that tobacco, brother. And then we have me smoking, I'm fenced in, but yet on the porch, the separate porch, my neighbors can see me. And I caught them giving me a weird look. Like, they weren't even looking at me like I was smoking tobacco. Like, they weren't looking at weed. They were looking at me like, this motherfucker got a bomb? Like, what the fuck is this? Which is honestly another weird scenario is I had my hookah in the car at one point when I might have got arrested this night. I can't remember. I don't think so. We like to stay out of jail these days. But I remember telling a cop that I had a bong. I like, in my mind, I'm like, is this guy even gonna know what hookah is? You know what I mean? Is he going to know what that is? So I'm just gonna, for some reason, my head went to just tell him it's a bong and then tell him it's tobacco. So I was like, I got a bong, and he's like, you got a bomb? You got a fucking bomb? I'm like, no, I don't have a fucking bomb. My buddy RJ will randomly break out this story and talk about it sometimes. Like, he's just like, do you remember? Like, can't even stop laughing. Like, one of those things, like, and then he I'm just like, spit it out, bro. Like, what are we about to say here? And then he finally does, like, 30 minutes later, like, the cop thought you had a bomb. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's what you're talking about? Oh, my God, I remember that. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This shit comes up. Not all the time, but, like, I hardly ever see this dude anymore, but he was one of my best friends, more like a brother, back in the day. But he loved telling that story. Yeah, I guess we like to do these things, reflect on people that used to, be huge in our lives. That's another sad thing. You don't need to go into all that, but it's just, it's funny how things like that can happen, dude. I mean, come on. Same fucking dude. I got pulled over with this. I mean, man, dude, maybe it's a good thing he's out of my life. Good Lord, bad influence. Nah, I ain't gonna do him like that. I remember one time, this was back when I smoked weed. I do not smoke weed anymore, people. I'm just telling that for my job. Just kidding. Yeah, I actually do not. Yeah, stupid joke. Couldn't do weed anymore, man. Shit wrecked me. But back when I did partake in the triage and I smoked a lot, I remember one time we had to eat the weed. You ever had to eat the weed on the road? That is a rough one. But we had to do it, and we didn't have anything to drink, dude. I mean, I'm sitting there eating bud because lights come on behind us, and we're tripping out because we could see it was a tow truck. We knew it was a tow truck behind us. Because you know when you got weed in the car, you're a little extra. Who's in the rear view mirror? You know, you a little more alert. You know what I mean? You know what I mean if you smoke. And we was like, it's a tow truck for sure. And out of nowhere, this tow truck flips on lights. And we look up in the mirror like, that's still a tow truck behind us. There ain't no way. And I was today years old when I realized tow trucks, or not today years old at the time, that tow trucks have cop lights. You know, they have that shit. And we're over here like, to the point where we're driving and we're such in disbelief. Like, I'm not even pulling over. I'm just riding it out, like talking to him, like, but it's a tow truck. Like, we just kept going back and forth. It's a tow truck. It can't be. It's a tow truck. And then like we look up like in the rearview mirror, like, but it's got cop lights. So I mean, this is a fucking reality. I believe my own two eyes. Like one of those type situation. And finally, we just start like shoveling this, like, you know, it's like a fucking quarter of weed. We're just fucking shoveling this shit down our throat. And I honestly, as gross as it sounds, like I started to choke. And the only thing I had in there was like an open water cup. Like maybe it was an old Taco Bell cup that had ash in it from like, you know, where we probably smoked in the car. I picked it up and I chugged it because I thought I was dying. I was like, I'm going to have to drink the ash. I'm going to have to take the L on this one. And I chugged it down, and I looked over at my buddy, you know, who's sitting there, and he's just like, he's over, like, look at me. I'm like, do you need help right now? Like, we might need the cops. Like, pull over. And then right as we're about to pull over, like, literally, like, almost instantaneously, like, it was, like, synced up. The tow truck guy with the cop lights on pulls over to help tow a car. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's so stupid, RJ. And then I know where I was like, oh shit, you're still choking. And not much longer after that, he was like, I'm good. But in the moment, I'm like, we literally almost killed your ass because we were afraid of a tow truck taking us to jail. Yes, that just happened. That happened. Let's all laugh about that now. Yeah, that was a pathetic weed story for sure. And he's over here like, yeah, we still in trouble though, dog, because we just bought a quarter. That was our last $40, and now we don't have weed. What are we gonna do? And that really was a problem back then. It was like, yeah, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with our night? Luckily, do not have that problem anymore. Now I just don't smoke weed because it freaks me out, man. I think it's the weed brownies that ruined it for me. I really do. Because, man, there's something about weed brownies, dog. And I learned that later on after I quit smoking that, like, it literally is. It's a different take, dude. It truly is. I mean, I ate weed brownie after weed brownie from one of my buddies, and it didn't do anything for me. You're only supposed to take one, and then you wait a little bit. On this certain occasion, I chose to take more than one because in my mind, I was like, he didn't make him right again. I'm not going to sit here and be sober here in an hour. Just double up because it'll probably be the right amount for my buddy's weed brownies. And this time he made him right. So it did not hit like, oh, I'm actually this high. I was fucking freaked out high. And it scarred me for life. Like, I thought I was like dying. I was like living inside of my body, and it was a fucking nightmare. And it took like all of like 4 hours for me to stop freaking out. Like, that's how long the high was. Fucking terrifying. Like, I mean, I was sitting on this couch at the time, fucking drinking water out of a Solo cup when I should have been partying, drinking beers and shit like that. Like, I mean, it made me feel kind of good because everybody kept checking on me, and I'm kind of like, just go back to the party. At first, it was like, y'all are surrounding me, you're freaking me out more. That made me realize, you know, like, I got some true friends. Like, you know, it's almost like they didn't feel right partying without me. So I'll take that as a W. You know what I mean? Yep. Cheers, since I'm all by my lonesome. But, you know, it's funny how things work out. Because even though that was, like, a horrible night and weed has never really been the same to me, I can sit back and think, like, wow, like, you know, I Now, I'm full frontal with shit. I've never really been a depressed person, but say I was a depressed person, that's the type of moment where you're like, damn, dude, like, I was wrong. It really was all in my head. People do care about me. So, in a blessing in disguise kind of way, that was like a reassuring way of just being like, damn, dude, like, I don't just have some friends, like, I have some fucking homies, dog. Like, these guys really care about me. Like, it didn't feel right, me not being included. At least that's the vibe I got. They're probably just like, dog, I know it's nighttime, but it's hot as shit out. This is the room with the best AC. And also, while I'm here, hey, man, you should come back into the park. You know, but the fucked up thing is, like, that's how, like, an overthinker would think. Like, if I was that overthinker, I'd be like, you probably really weren't there for me. It just happened to be there for me. Yeah. That's how that goes when your brain is just traveling a mile a fucking minute. Which mine does, just not in that way. You know what I mean? Like, my brain is all over the place, but not like that. I've never understood the sadness, beat myself up type of thing. I feel like I fortunately have always had just enough friends, enough hobbies, but you got to realize not everybody has that. You know what I mean? So you definitely understand where other people can be in those dark places. And I hope, honestly, man, with this podcast, you know, I know this episode is probably dumb or whatever. It's just Brandon and his thoughts, all about his lonesome. But I hope more than anything, man, that's what this podcast can bring to you and be for you. Is just, you know, not just for me, obviously the other guys, you know, on these mics that are just sitting around aimlessly, that it can be some type of escape. I know I wrote this on the page. Like, that's what I want more than anything, man. I mean, I do, even though I said I don't really get depressed, I do know what it's like, though. Everybody goes through troubles, you know? Or you're that guy that's, like, going insane over it and feels like they can't go on or not. Like, you can be that guy also. It's just like, you know, I'm down and out right now. And, you know, I've been there. I've done that. Or, like, I did say, like, at the beginning, I do have bad anxiety at times. Whereas I can listen to, like, my favorite podcast or YouTube or just, you know, a collection of things or the right song that puts me in the mood. That, you know, it just takes you away from the real thing for a while. And more than anything, man, I genuinely do mean that. Like, I mean, of course, I'd be fucking lying if I said I didn't want to be, and I didn't want my friends to, you know, come up too, because I'm all about just promoting my buddies, especially the ones on my podcast with me that I see putting in the hard work every fucking day. I want us to do something special. I do, of course, and I want to be noticed and recognized. Not to the point where I can't fucking go outside, obviously, which I never think it'll get to that, but you know, it's nice to have acceptance, you know, for putting in that work. I'm still going to put it in because I know what I put in and I know what I strive for, so I'm not going to stop doing what I love doing. But it's always nice to get recognition. I'd be dishonest if I didn't say that otherwise. But honestly, like, the main thing that, like, I think of is, like, man, if I can just touch people in a certain way, man, that means the world to me. Like, that high I get from, like, oh man, like, dude, you have a good podcast. Oh yeah, that's oh yeah, that's special to me. When I get like oh man, like, you really helped me this week. You really got me through something. That's so much more rewarding. There's really is something to the giving aspect rather than the getting aspect. They're both rewarding, but man, it's at least on equal wavelength, and I think it tilts more not towards the latter, but the other way, where just giving, dude. I've always had that just in my bones, dude. Like, I love seeing people happy, man. And that's what I want. That's what I really want more than anything. Not just from this podcast, not from anything, just in general, man. I think we're all too hard on ourselves, whether it be at work, like I said, now it's just rough. We all just need to get along. And right now, more than ever, media and everything else is just trying to separate us. It feels like the world's falling. At least COVID's, you know, it's not over, but it's gotten better in ways. RIP to all that we've lost through that. But, you know, we've at least found some semblance of what felt like reality before. It's somewhat back. And just trucking through all that mud, dude, and just, you know, finding each other again, and the way that we knew it before. Not just us, but the way we would glow in crowds. Not like to the point where we just overrun with crowds just for the sake of it, but like, you know, we're able to be in bigger groups of people and feel that feeling again and feel some type of normalcy. And I love it, man. I love it. And I hope that you can feel that in this small crowd, even smaller crowd today, that you can find something in that, man. And I genuinely mean that. That's important to me. That's just as important to me as getting this shit off the ground, which we're off the ground a little bit, you know what I mean? We've done a few things, but we could do so much more, man. Y'all are so special for that. Seriously. Very, very special for that. And I still have too many beers out. Jesus Christ. What kind of beer y'all drink? That's what I really want to know. Movie questions aside. Ugh. I guess what? Guess what, though? We did 30 minutes. I did 30 minutes, I should say. Yeah. Bunch of randomness on the fly. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, fuck off. No, I'm just playing. You know I'm kidding. I'm kidding, right? I gotta get up and turn this off. I don't even like this. Like, I don't know how to do this. I'm not cut out for this kind of work. How do we do this? Do we do like a... Hang on. Goodbye. There's a nice shot of my ass. What is this stain on my back? What the fuck? Am I bleeding? See, it's just all downhill, ain't it? Just playing, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Seriously. See y'all.